Welcome back to the Fix Ops Roundtable. We are here at Paragon, Honda, and Acura in Queens, New York. I'm joined with the amazing Isabella Stevens, and we have a star-studded panel before us, and we're going to be talking about leadership today. We've got Maureen Martin, we've got Brian Benstock, Ashley Lepczyk, and the Mike Stoll. And all right, guys, let's just get straight into it. What separates a good leader from a truly transformational leader in today's business environment? And we'll start with you, Maureen.
All right. Well, when I think of a good leader, I think of someone who's really kind of focused on the now and they're hitting their metrics and they're doing a great job. But a transformational leader really is looking at the future and how do they really empower their employees to really come up with those ideas that really transforms the business. And we've been talking a lot about that today here at Paragon.
Right? You have any thoughts there?
I think vision. When I think of leadership, I think of vision and communication and your ability to get that vision across large groups of people. I think communication is really important. They're understanding the communication. There's an obligation on the sender to make sure the receiver understands the message, what their role in the vision is, and what's in it for them if they can pull off that vision. I think leadership's really important. You're not going to be able to get lunch done if you can't get to understand the picture.
Absolutely. And the whole Paragon group is outstanding at being transformational. I mean, every big decision that you've made, whether it's pickup and delivery or, e-commerce parts, big transformational things that you had to take risks at. So I wanted to get your opinion on that, Ashley, as someone a part of that as well. What do you think separates a transformational leader from a normal leader in the business environment?
Sure. I will build on what Maureen and Brian said. I think ensuring that your team has the vision and also has the clarity of communication for how you're going to get there enables agency and enables your employees to actually feel like they can contribute creatively to how are we going to get to that vision. And I think especially in today's world of technology innovating so quickly, it's really important to pull from everyone's expertise and pull differing, diverse perspectives and ideas, but you really can't implement that unless the whole team has, what Maureen and Brian spoke to, which is clarity of vision, clarity in how we're going to get there.
How do you follow that? So,
You can't.
no, you can. So I would say that empathy, to be a great leader, there has to be empathy. And I believe that you have to have an ear and a heart to listen with intent to what is going on in life, not necessarily the KPI that they might have missed. 80% of people get up every day wanting to take care of their family and everything else. If it's 80% of the time, what are you doing for us? Eventually that will fade. So I believe a relationship building leader, somebody can listen with empathy, look for areas where you can grow and develop on the areas that they want to get better at, not necessarily what you think's better for you and the organization. Builds to what Ash and Brian and Maureen said. So I think it's all a bigger picture and a bigger piece of pie, but and it all comes back to trust. If I trust the person that I work for, I'm going to run through the wall for them. And then the trust, as it builds over time, it gets to love. And if I love the people that I work for and I trust the people that I work for, it doesn't matter whether I ran through a red light, got a ticket, because I know this. That if I was in trouble, there's no person on this panel today that wouldn't come help me immediately if I called.
Absolutely.
That's where we're at.
Those are all great perspectives on transformational leadership. And I know it's really motivating to young people like me and Steven who are currently in universities and entering the market in the next 1 to 2 years. And we're looking for people like yourselves who are just really want to build and grow their people. So it's really inspiring. Thank you, guys.
You received our job offer, right?
Yeah.
And they so both of you.
My biggest question.
I'm kidding.
I would come work for Paragon Honda any day. Oh, no, my biggest question, though, is what role does emotional intelligence play in being an effective leader, especially on, working at the dealership? There's moments of uncertainty. It's not, always rainbows and sunshine. So how do you guys work with emotional intelligence? You can kind of start us off, Mike.
Emotional intelligence is when you have passion, for growth and development people, and you have passion for the industry. The things that bum us out if you step back for a second and look at it as a learning opportunity to get better the next time it happens, and then share that, among the entire organization. When I'm in trouble, I hold my hand up and ask for help, right? And I don't let it get emotional. If I'm in trouble, I'll call Ashley. If I'm in trouble, I'll call Brian and say, look, I'm struggling with this, help me.
Yeah.
And when they give me some feedback and I give it a run, it's good. So get your hand in the air, look for help, try to keep it passion and high, emotion low. But the emotional bad moments, make sure you learn from them and share those learnings with other people.
Incredible. Ashley, what's your take on that?
Yeah, totally agree. And I think Mike, you already touched on this a little bit with trust being so important, but I think emotional intelligence is key, especially in an industry like ours, where at the end of the day, it's really about customer relationships and connections. So incredibly important for the customer, but also so important as you're navigating a team, as you're collaborating to do big things that we've never done before, as we're running red lights to get things done. You got to have that trust and you got to have that awareness of how everyone's feeling and adjust when needed to make sure we're all rolling in the right direction with the momentum we need to get there.
That's incredible. Now, Brian, you're kind of known for being very energetic, very loud, very motivating to the people around you. How does emotional intelligence play a role in that?
First of all, I love you being here. You two people are doing a great job hosting this panel. Emotional intelligence, there's a side you don't see. You don't see me raising my hand and saying, hey, I need help, right? And I do that. I do it in private. It's not necessarily something I bring online, but I asked Mike, hey, can you help me, Mike? This is what we have here. This is what the dealership looks like right now. And here's where I want to take the dealership. But I've never been there. And so imagine you're in charge of the ship. You're taking the dealership to a destination that you've never been to before. And I think, emotional intelligence for me is to understand that you have certain limitations of what you know, but you have certain biases of what you know, and to reach outside of what you know to get the help with somebody who's seen things that you haven't seen. And as part of what we're doing here today is really, I reached out to Mike and say, I'm operational in the dealership, and I'm pretty good at that. But on an enterprise level, I look up to the Penske's and to the Coons and to the Hendricks and say, I'm a beginner and I need some help to get us there. All these people in the showroom and these showrooms are depending on my getting that right. So emotional intelligence is to understand that you don't know it all, and for me, and to be able to reach out for people to get that help that you need.
Knowing when to ask for help.
That's exactly right. Before it's too late.
Yes.
It's never too late, but before it's
Right.
too late.
Well, I think what it does too is it creates inspiration, right? Because I think two characteristics for us is resilience and grit. And I think when you're looking at emotional intelligence and you're surrounding yourself, if you look at the students here from Northwood, I love when I get a chance to go up there. But we're always looking for people that are going to complement and take us to the next step. And I think when you can look for high performers and say where to, you were talking a little bit about where you want to go, Brian, and how you want that to help the entire organization. But that you've got to bring people up and inspire and have that resilience and that grit, because the only thing we're ever going to have is uncertainty in our business. It's how we really approach it and attack it is really what is going to make it successful.
Maureen, it's very important. Sometimes you don't realize the growth of the people around you in Australia. And I was saying to Mike, how proud I am of the people that are here that represent the stores that we have and how much growth they've had. And you see, it's like, you're not my kids, but you see
They're your kids.
something that's adult-like, and you sit there and you're having a proud papa moment watching, wow, man, look at the development there and the unbelievable potential that they have. I think it's really inspires.
This has been a phenomenal crash course of leadership and, just taking your leadership to the next step. So we really appreciate all of you being here. It's a great inspiration to both Isabella and I and the rest of the Fixed Ops Roundtable community. So
Yes, thank you guys so much for giving us your perspective on leadership. And I know everyone else around us wants to know too. So thank you for giving us the in.
It's a privilege to be with you.
Yeah,
Thank you
so
so much.
once again, Stephen Hackbarth and Isabella Stevens here at Paragon Honda and Acura.